Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Get Fit With Me, expanding your physical and mental fitness group. This group is for individuals who are looking to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. So today, it's kind of neat. It's kind of noisy in the neighborhood that I'm in. For those of you who are new and who have never participated in one of these lace up your shoes and move and learn with me, or with us really, type of workshops, this is your chance to, if you have not put on a pair of shoes and you've either not got outside in this beautiful weather that we are having, or go down to a treadmill, a bike, whatever you have at home, maybe you're just going to pace around the house. These next 30 minutes are going to be a chance for us to talk about habits, the importance, how to go about them, just kind of hitting on some information around habits, but it's also a chance to move our bodies for 30 minutes. And often we think 30 minutes is not enough when it comes to enough exercise. And in the long scheme of things, it's not. We need more than 30 minutes, but we have to start somewhere. So maybe today is the first habit you are changing by going outside and doing 30 minutes of walking with me. Now that it is summer, I'm going to kind of share with you some kind of how habits for me have changed and how you can have them change based on the season that you are in. So back in the winter, for those of you who know me well, know that I don't like the cold. I don't go outside when it's cold. So I found that I needed some sort of cardio or movement that I could do inside my house. And that's where I got a bike. I ended up with a Nordic Trek bike about 2 winters ago, and it was the best thing to happen to me. And sometimes changing a habit means investing in a piece of equipment or investing in coaching. But sometimes the habit is getting outside and using what you have around you. So with that being the case, now that it's summer and we've transitioned into this beautiful weather that I love, that I make it a point. If you saw my post a couple weeks ago now, I've been trying to get up and do my workout in the morning. I'll open the garage door, get the fresh air because my gym, I've moved down to the garage for the summer. So getting out there, enjoying the fresh air, feeling the first thing that I do in the morning is moving my body and the fresh air or humidity or crispness that comes with the day. So in addition to that, I've made it a point to, throughout my day, make in little spots that I can go and walk. So today is one of them, and there's a garbage truck behind me. So I apologize if you can hear that. So with that being the case, I have made blocks. Like this right here is a 30-minute block that I have. We're going to hang out for 30 minutes. We're going to talk. But it was something that I had to schedule in. And habits don't change overnight. Habits don't change in 21 days anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. 21 days is a great time to start and a great way to start being committed to that. But it really takes closer to 90 days for a habit or routine to be formed. And if you are only getting to 5 days or 20 days or whatever that number of days is, and you are wondering why things are not sticking, things are not happening, is you are not being consistent enough for long enough. So that is one of the things I want you to take away from today's call, is that you have to be consistent for longer than you think it's going to be. And for some of you, that may be awful. It may be the thing you don't want to do, but it's the things you don't want to do are the things you should actually be doing. So as you are watching the replay here, drop in the comments and let me know who you are, where you're from, and what is your favorite place to walk / be outside at? Is it on the water? Is it a specific town? Is it in your neighborhood? Yeah, just let me know what the specific spot that you really enjoy being and walking or just being in is outside. Mine is anywhere on the water, but if I'm going to be doing walking, honestly, we have a really nice neighborhood across the street from where I live. It's perfect sidewalks, not usually this busy on Thursdays, but it is what it is today. So I also want you in the comments to drop what is a habit that you want to actually have, that you no longer have to think about, that it just becomes natural for you. So it can be water, it can be vegetables, it can be fruit, it can be X amount of movement. What is a habit that you want to create for yourself because you know it's going to push you forward and it's going to challenge you? And in that quote, we cannot change who we are if we don't change our daily habits, things that we do every single day. So if you are someone who doesn't set an alarm and you just kind of sleep into when you want, and then you wonder where the day goes, that's always going to be a continuation until you start setting alarm and making the change of, I'm going to get up at this time and this is what I'm going to do for the day. But until you make that change and you move forward, nothing is going to change. You're going to end up on the same cycle that you've been on. And for a lot of us, that is where health and wellness, we find ourselves giving ourselves blame, like, oh, I'm doing this again, or I'm not doing the thing. So we just put ourselves in a pity party when the only thing that needs to happen is choosing one habit, one action to change and get consistent with it. Habits are huge, and habits can be anything. Morning routine, amount of water you drink, amount of exercise. Maybe it's the habit of getting in a social relationship with somebody. Like, you have friends, but you're not good at seeing them. For me, I've created a habit of anytime I see my friend, more of a routine. Anytime I see my friend in person, we set up the next date that we're going to be together, because if not, we both know life is going to get in the way and we're going to use life as an excuse to not do the thing we want to do. So I challenge you to start thinking about, as we're on this call, what are you committed to changing in your life to move you forward, to move not just the needle in this day, but the needle in all the upcoming days forward? Because it's more than just today. Today is just the first step. Today is that first step forward. Today is that movement. But we can't get to the days in the future if we don't start today. So let me know what's kind of coming up for you. What types of habits are coming? Are you feeling a little bit, kind of emotions are showing up for you right now? Are you, I don't know, are you a little stressed out with this? Are you excited? Are you anxious? Are you like, Morgan, stop telling me what I need to do? Like, how are you feeling through all of this? Because it's, like I said, it's not something that just happens overnight. I did not just one day wake up and say, okay, I'm gonna walk every day. It's gonna be my thing. I'll walk every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. No, it started off as, oh, it's a beautiful day today. I'm gonna get out and walk. Wow, I really liked how that made me feel. I wanna implement that 2 days a week now. Wow, that feels awesome. I'm gonna implement 3. These healthy habits, we start to get addicted to them in a good way of, wow, that makes my body feel good. That makes my mind feel good. And if we can really lean into that and embrace that feeling and know that when we have that feeling and we want more of it, that we actually do more, we are going to move the needle forward so fast. And it's not going to feel like work. It's going to be fun. Like, I love walking. I turn on a podcast or music, or I listen to a course and I just walk. And people in this neighborhood probably think I do the craziest routes because I just kind of cut across, I zigzag back and forth. But the habit that I've created is just doing the thing. So with that being the case, I want you guys to think and put it in the chat. What is the one thing that you are going to commit to by the end of this call? And I want commitment, because if we don't make a commitment to something, all it is talk, and all we do is learn, and we end up in this learning and this talk cycle that doesn't get us anywhere. And for a habit to work and to be implemented, we actually have to take action, make commitment, and make a change. So I mentioned earlier that habits are no longer formed in 21 days. It now takes roughly 60 to 90 And the reason that that is because if we think about how quickly social media, screens, and life around us comes at us, it's at us so quickly that our brains, if we don't do something for a long period of time, we're all of a sudden somewhere else. We're doing something else. That's why 21 days is a really good milestone, and then add another 21 days and slowly start adding those up, because those right there, take that big goal of 60 to 90 days of drinking your water. Let's say the habit you want to create is drinking 50 ounces of water daily. And right now you're drinking like 40. Okay, the habit you want to create is 50 ounces of water daily. And we're going to do that for first a week. And then you'll choose 14 days. And then you'll choose 21 days. And then you'll just keep adding a week after week. But if a week is too long for some of you, because I know a week seems like a long time, and it is, depending on what the goal is and what the habit you want to create is, that maybe it's, I'm going to do this many today and this many tomorrow, and then the following day I'm going to reassess. So reassess every 2 days. You can choose what is going to be best for you and what allows you to have enough motivation to move forward to actually do the thing, but also what is going to allow you to feel like you are striving for something and making a difference in yourself and your body. Because a lot of times we create these huge goals, and habits and goals go hand in hand with one another. We create these huge goals of I'm going to work out 100 times this month. Really? Because what happens to that is life then gets in the way. We skip a day. We end up with multiple workouts in a day. And then we don't do the multiple workouts, and then we're more behind, and we end up in this constant cycle of, well, why, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm already behind. And then we put ourselves back in that pity party and those excuses. And we want to get out of those excuses, get out of that pity party, and take control of your life. And by taking control of your life, by changing one habit for yourself and your health, will move you forward, not just in your health and your life, but in your work, in your relationships, in all these areas. I can tell you, I am much more fun to be around when I am on my exercise routine, when I eat good, when I do the things that make my body feel good. But I didn't learn that until I created the habit. I dialed in the habit, and then I'd fall off of it for a second. I'm like, ooh, not good. I need that habit to stick in because it makes me feel good. And the same thing goes is once you start to get in the habit of it, you're gonna forget that you're doing it. You're gonna be like, oh wow, I'm just chugging water along. I didn't even realize, oh, I'm now drinking 100 ounces of water. Whatever that may be for you, it will get easy. It will get mindless, mindless in a good way. You're just gonna do it without noticing, and you're gonna feel good. And time is gonna go by, and you're gonna wonder, why do my joints feel better? Why do I feel better? Why is my skin clear? These physical attributes that come with creating this habit and doing the habit consistently, you are going to start to see, and you're going to want to make sure you keep doing that habit, because if you don't, you are going to regress, and maybe your joints get stiffer. Maybe you feel thirstier more, whatever that may be. And sorry, I'm watching out for traffic. We've had a lot more traffic in our neighborhood too. So the things that I need you to really hone in on is you cannot change all your habits at once. It is the 0 to 100 approach does not work. You cannot change all your habits at once. So I really want you to choose one. Choose one, dial it in, commit to it, and drop it in the comments. Because that one is going to give you the momentum and the motivation to be like, ooh, I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling confident. Let's add the second one in. And that habit can be really small. It can be, I'm going to do one workout a week. It could be, I'm going to do one walk a week. I'm going to stretch once a week. But then you're going to get into it and you're going to start to feel better. And then you can bump it up to 2. I want you to not go 0 to 100 when it comes to any of this, whether it's going for 90 days straight and that be your big goal, that's a great big goal, but break that down into smaller. Because if we don't break them down into smaller and we end up failing one of those days, we end up not doing it. And then it just ends up being those excuses and that pity party all over again. We don't want that. I want you to be successful and implementing a habit and changing your life. Because Karen, I'm going to shout you out here. We had talking about water a couple days ago, and she, after just 6 or 8 days of drinking a certain amount of water consistently, she goes, I can just tell the difference in my joints that quickly. Of just 7 days of being consistent with something, she saw changes. And often we get discouraged from keeping these habits in place when we don't see all the weight drop off in a week, or we don't see our inches be lost, or we don't see these physical attributes of ourselves, and we get discouraged and we're like, screw this, it's not worth it. And that's not the case. Those physical attributes come with time. Those are not the things that come right away. Those are the things that come over the course of 21, 30, 60, 90 days. And the thing about that is it then taps into that mental fitness portion of your habit. So you have this habit, and we dive into the mental fitness portion of giving up on it. And it's not for me, it's not working. We say all these things, and all we're doing is tricking our mind and letting our mind and those negative thoughts control the change that we want to make. So thinking about, okay, I have this habit, I'm feeling discouraged. Let your mind be stronger than those excuses, than that negative talk. And ways to make that happen are anywhere from, we were actually just talking about this, is in the morning. If the morning's a time when you feel negative, or really just any time, and you walk by a mirror, give the mirror a high five and say, you're awesome, or damn, I look good today. Whatever you need to say to yourself, incorporating positive self-talk throughout your day is going to help retrain our mind and help get those negative thoughts out of there. And yes, we are human, we're always going to have them, but we don't want them about our bodies. We don't want them about who we are. We want positive thoughts. And the only way to get positive thoughts is by feeding our mind positive thoughts, whether that's through things you listen to, people you talk to, or yourself. Positive talk to yourself is the most impactful thing you can do. If you sit here and say, I can't do this, 90 days is too long to commit to something, you're not going to be able to do it. You are not going to be able to embrace that habit. Very few of you will be like, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna do it. Very few people will do that, especially when it's themselves telling them that they can't do it. So you need to have positive self-talk throughout this entire journey. And we think that adding in one habit is something that we don't have to worry about, that negative talk, but it's gonna happen. This water isn't doing anything. I'm not losing weight. It's not worth me to keep doing these workouts. I don't feel better when I eat a salad. I'm not gonna have it. Like, there are specific things that have to happen for you to feel good and for you to be that strong person that you want to be. And a lot of that is consistency in you taking over your mental fitness and not letting your negative mental talk take over that and control you. You control your thoughts. You control the action and the effort you put into something. And that's what I want you to remember. That's one of the many things. I've told you lots of things to remember on this call. But I want you to remember that when it gets hard, because it is, I'm not going to lie to you, that when it gets hard, when it feels like it's not doing anything, when you don't want to be consistent, that is when you need to. That is when you need to lean into it and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm I'm going to hit that goal. And make that goal smaller if you need to. Make it 5 days, make it 2 days. And then after you hit those 2 days, add another 2 days. The accomplishment feeling that you get for crushing something in 2 days and then doing it again and again and again feels fantastic. It's like when you break up a weight loss goal. Instead of trying to lose 10 pounds, I'm gonna lose half a pound or a quarter of a pound this week. Break it up into really small things like that, because that matters. Because that right there, you see the momentum, you see the ball starting to roll, and you want to go, you want to chase it, you want to keep going. Whereas if we see the 10 pounds and it takes us forever to get that 10-pound goal, we're not going to get anywhere. Or if we do, it's going to be really, really slow. And we're going to feel like all that negative self-talk coming in. So we have about 8 minutes left. I want to know 2 things. I want to know, how are you feeling through your movement as you're listening to this, listening or watching the replay? Usually I show you where I'm at. I'll show you right now. I love our neighborhood. It's great. Lots of shade, but also sun at the same time. So I want you to let me know, how are you physically feeling through this 24 minutes of movement? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling bad? Are you feeling like, wow, I'm moving too fast, I need to slow down? Let me know how you are physically feeling. And then after you let me know how you're physically feeling, I want you to let me know how you're feeling about this topic. Because I'm learning through coaching that I do with all of you, is some of you respond really well to me being blunt and straightforward and to the point, and others of you don't appreciate it as much. And that's okay, because we respond differently to things. And I was a little bit more blunt and forward with the importance of creating a habit and the importance of not letting your mind tell you you can't do something. So I want to know, what's kind of sitting with you? What's standing out as scary? Or, wow, I'm freaking pumped right now, I'm gonna go do it. Like, what is coming up for you in this moment? I also, in the beginning, I mentioned that I want all of you to make a commitment. And that commitment, I want you to let me know what area or what it is. So what is the commitment? Is it I'm going to drink water? Is it I'm going to exercise? Is it I'm going to stretch? I'm going to eat 1 vegetable a day? Like, what is the commitment that you are making? And when is that first milestone for you? Is it when you've done the thing 5 times? Is it when you've done the thing 15 times? Maybe 21, maybe 30, maybe 90. Just like how we goal set, create that big goal. That big goal should be 60 or 90 days, but break that down. How often are you going to reassess to make sure you're doing the dang thing, that that habit is actually being created? And if it is something such as a workout, what are you going to do to make sure it happens? Are you going to add it to your calendar and actually schedule it? And tip, which you guys have probably heard me talk about, is as soon as something is on my calendar, it is a non-negotiable. It means especially for myself, at the start of the year, I scheduled all of my workouts, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, I think is what it was. Monday, Tuesday, Friday were my strength training workouts. And those are on there. And the only time those workouts get moved to a different day or a different time is if I have a conflict. Because when you schedule something out for a year, you don't know what happens. But when I get to that week, myself is scheduled on my calendar first, before anything else happens. Because I cannot help others if I don't help myself first. So in addition to those workouts and you scheduling them, what other things, or maybe you're not going to schedule because you don't use a calendar or planner. Highly encourage it. If you don't do that, what are you going to do to make sure you actually do it every day, or do it the amount of times you're committing to? Same thing goes with water. I have another client, we talk about water, and she sets a timer at the top of each hour to go through, and when the alarm goes off, she drinks water. Because sometimes we don't all carry a water bottle with us. Water seems like such a simple thing as a concept, but if you've ever tried to drink a certain amount of water a day, it's not that easy. There's some days where like I'll crush it, and then there's others where I get to the end of my workday, I'm like, oh my goodness, I did not have nearly enough water today. And then I play catch up and I do the thing. Whereas if I create a habit of at the top of each hour, an alarm's gonna go off, I'm gonna drink a certain amount of water or just have some water, it's going to form. And then I'm gonna start to program my mind to just grab that water whenever, even whenever the alarm's not going off. I'm gonna have that habit forming that I wanna grab for water, that I want that water. So things like that are what you can do to start implementing these habits into your life. Because if you do not change the habits you have now into habits that you want, you are not going to change. You are not going to grow. You are not going to become that person that you keep saying you want to be day in and day out. You're going to keep living in the pity party of, oh, I just can't do it. I don't have time. You're going to live in those excuses. And if we live in the excuses, we're not changing, we're not growing. Take control of your excuses. Take control of your mindset. Find one habit to commit to. And the habit that I'm committing to, and I'm going to recommit to, because this was a goal of mine at the start of the year, a habit I was planning to create, and I haven't been doing so hot on it, and I'm going to be honest, is stretching. I stretch with my clients, but I don't stretch on my own, and I know the benefits that it has. So I am recommitting to all of you, and you're welcome to hold me accountable if you feel like, if you want to make sure that I'm actually doing the thing. I am recommitting to stretching for 15 minutes every Friday morning, like Friday mornings. So 15 minutes every Friday morning. Unless I have something where I can't be there, I will move it to a different day, because that's what happens in life, is instead of just sticking with this one thing and being like, oh, I just can't do it. Life changes. Our things can change, but we can't let the change be like, no, we're not going to do it. No, shift it, move it. That's okay, but stay committed to it. So every Friday morning for 15 minutes, I am committing to stretching. And this Friday, I will post a video or a photo showing you that I've done it. And for any of you who have dropped your commitment here, I'm either going to follow up with you. Actually, no, I am going to follow up with you, but I would also encourage you to post about it in the group of, did my water today, did that workout I'm committing to. Like, share those wins, because you sharing your wins and me sharing my wins and everyone sharing their wins brings us more motivation and drive to want to keep moving forward. It's a little bit of a competition behind it. So we're at our 30-minute mark. And with that being the case, I want you guys to have a fantastic rest of your day. And remember, if you want to be somebody different, that changes with your daily habits. So pick a habit, pick something that needs to be changed, and start small. Start small and commit to it, and drop it in the comments. I will talk to you all later. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will see you next week.